Hello everyone, welcome. We've made it to another Tuesday in our physical isolation. I hope you all are doing well and that even with these gloomy clouds that we're having right now, that we're able to understand that behind those clouds is beautiful sun and blue sky, and that sometimes cloudy days happen, and that's okay. Before we really get into everything here, I just want to say that welcome. We are here on Trans Day of Visibility 2020. Super exciting. Whether you are out, we support you. And for those of you who are not out, we support you in solidarity as well. We understand that these times can be very difficult for a lot of people, not just trans folk and non-binary folk, but also people who are experiencing any form of domestic or sexual violence. This can be a very difficult time when you are essentially in the same place of residence, in a small place of residence, with someone who can potentially be harming you. So there's been a couple articles that we've been posting about that. And we want you to know that there's lots of different supports out there with the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center. Hello to everyone that's joining. Please let me know where you're joining from. With the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center, we have our phone support. So from Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, you can talk to one of our front desk office people, even though they're not there. That is 705-748-5901. We have our 24-hour crisis line that is also available, 1-866-298-7778. That is available 24/7. We also have our texting support, which has been very, very popular. Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, 710-5234. There's some other texting lines that we currently don't have the capacity to do, but there is 24-hour texting lines, and another center also has a texting line available. I just forget which one it is at this point, but those texting 24-hour texting lines are available. Just with us, it is Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30. And of course, we have our online supports, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30. You can go onto our website and chat to us online. We are there. And then, of course, our weekend web chats are still up and going. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So thank you, everyone, so much for joining. Today we're going to be talking about consent. We had a really fun conversation over on Instagram, and I just want to see, because there was some people who wanted to join, and I'm not sure if we can do that on Facebook, but anyway, if you're here, slide into our comments and let us know. In my space today, I am grounding myself back with my persistence mug. Today I'm just keeping it grounded with, hi Lucas, just kind of keeping it grounded with mint tea. It's very strong. I left the bag in during my Instagram live. I was like, oh no, but that's okay. So I've got my tea for my diffuser. It's kind of hidden in the corner here. Today I've got some Unwind in there, and Unwind has citrus, orange, more citrus, lavender, geranium, and cinnamon. So unwinding using those. Hi Lucas, I'm gonna see. Yeah, no, I can't bring you live, Lucas, but that's okay. Thanks for trying. Anyway, so that's kind of what I have in my space today, grounding me and bringing me here with you all. Today we're going to be talking about consent and maybe how you can talk about consent with young people in your lives, maybe with your friends or your family. And so how we typically get the ball rolling in our presentations with a lot of young folks is that we do a ball game, or I guess in this case a duct tape. At one point we were throwing around like a foam pizza, so we were tossing pizza around. But with our ball game, we have 3 rules, because everyone loves to play ball at some point, right? So we have 3 rules. With our ball game, the first rule is that you have to choose someone to throw the ball to. The second rule is that you have to ask them if they want the ball. And then the third rule is that you throw the ball based on their response. So, it gets, we go, all right, who wants the ball first? And then we toss that out once they say yes. And then, everyone goes through the room. Some people really want the ball. Some people don't want the ball. Some people change their minds, and it gives us a lot to talk about. So, once everyone's kind of had a chance to get the ball, we bring it back and we go, okay, how did we know that someone wanted the ball? And typically the first answer is they wanted the ball, or we asked them, and it's like, okay, so we asked them, they wanted the ball, but like how do we know that they actually wanted it after we asked? And they go, oh, they said yes. And I go, okay, how did they say yes? And they go like, yeah, I want the ball. And so we've got a lot going on in just that little thing. So we've got someone vocally saying, yes, I want the ball, and they're saying it in a very engaged, very enthusiastic way. They're super pumped. They really want that ball. Also, what we notice is that they're looking. They go, yep, want the ball. And the third, so we got facial expressions. And the third thing is that their body language, right? Whether they're clapping, whether they're jumping out of their seats, which happens sometimes, whether they're, they got their hand up. There's a body language that comes down to how we know that someone wants the ball. So it's a mixture of vocal cues, so how they're saying yes, as well as facial expressions, how they're looking. Are they looking at you? And body language. So if someone's like, yes, I want the ball, does it really mean that they want the ball? They said yes, but their body language is hunched, they're slouched over, they don't have their hands up, they aren't looking at you, they're not engaged. And so maybe they want the ball handed to them, but not tossed to them. So anyway, that's another part that we'll get into. And then sometimes people say, sure, I want the ball. Is sure yes, or is sure no? Sometimes we say, sure, want the ball. Yep, we want dinner. Sure. How do we know that sure is a yes sure versus a no sure? And how we break that down, again, comes to those 3 key components of how they are vocally saying sure. What is their body language doing when they say sure? And finally, where are they looking when they say sure? Are they going, sure? Or are they like, sure? Right? A lot of different things that come into that. And so with some people, sometimes they say no, that they don't want the ball. And that's totally fine and totally valid. What would happen? How do you think someone would feel if they said that they didn't want the ball and the ball was thrown at them? Well, they'd probably feel, move this down a little bit, they probably feel a little bit disrespected. They feel not listened to. They feel like you don't care about me and don't care about what I want and what my needs are, and you're just going to do something anyway. So when we're not listening and we just do something, we are making people not feel good about themselves. And is that really the type of connection that we want to have with people? Typically not. We want people to enjoy themselves when we're hanging out. We want people to be excited to hang out with us, not feel as if they have to hang out with us to get our attention. And so, sometimes we get a no, and sometimes that answer changes. They go from a no to a yes, or they go, actually, wait, I want the ball. And so, and that's totally valid too. But sometimes we ask questions, okay, so, we have someone that said no, that they did not want the ball. Well, what if we kept asking them, do you want the ball? No. Do you want the ball? No. Do you want the ball? Do we think their answer might change? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Why might their answer change from a no to a yes? Well, it could feel a lot of peer pressure. They could feel like they have to not play the ball, or that there's something wrong with them if they didn't want the ball. Everyone else wanted the ball. Why shouldn't they want the ball? So sometimes we change our answer out of peer pressure. We change our answer to fit in. We change our answer because we feel like we have to. And so that doesn't feel good. But then there's some people that change their answer from a no to a yes because they actually genuinely change their answer because they want to play the ball game. And so how can we tell who are changing their answer because of peer pressure versus changing their answer because they genuinely now want to do something? Well, again, comes down to those three key things: their vocal cues, their body language, and their facial expressions. But also we add being accountable as leaders in our community, being accountable to our actions, and giving space for a no. And so if we're asking someone, hey, do you want to go to that Lady Gaga concert with me? I really want you to go. Like, oh no, oh come on, you really like that one song. And they go, okay, well fine, yeah, sure, yep, I'll go. What I can do is say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I just really wanted you to go, and I know you said no. It's okay if you don't want to go. It's fine. And so giving that space for that person to go, you know what, I actually thought about it, and yeah, I do want to go to the Lady Gaga concert. That sounds totally awesome. It's far enough in the future that we shouldn't have to worry about the virus and everything, so like, yeah. Or they might go, okay, thank you for saying that. Like, no, I don't want to go. I just wanted to make you happy. Right? So there's a lot of things that we can do as being accountable leaders in our community to check in and be like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I was super excited to play ball with you, to go to the Lady Gaga concert with you, that I wasn't listening. So it's okay if you don't want to do that. And then we get people so we have people who are changing their answer from a no to a yes, whether it's under peer pressure or that they want to change their answer. But what about the people who do not change their answer? And they keep saying, no, I don't want to play. No, no, no. What might happen to their answer? And what people tell us is that, well, it might escalate. It may get louder. It may get more aggressive, go into an all caps rage. Or as some young people have said, they may just fight. They may want to harm someone. And what that comes down to is that they're not being listened to. And so their answer is going to escalate. And we show a video in a lot of our talks. I can see everyone liking, thank you so much, that you can go on and watch yourself. But it's from the Big Bang Theory. And in that, the clip that we show, and you can YouTube this, if you look up Big Bang Theory, Penny doable, in that scene, Howard is asking Penny to go to the dance with him. Penny's first answer is, you're a pig, Howard. Now, if I ask someone to go to a Lady Gaga concert with me, and they say, you're a pig, Alisha, probably going to take that as a no. I don't know in any kind of context that saying, you're a pig is yes. So, that's Penny's first answer. But Howard keeps asking, and he keeps going, oh, this is just our little tango. Like, I'm going to keep asking. What else does Howard say? You're not flirting with me. And so Howard clearly can't understand that Penny's multiple answers of no, I don't want to go to dance with you are valid. And so we talk about how this is actually a form of sexual harassment. Because what sexual harassment is that it's unwanted attention that is sexual in nature. Well, doable is a sexual comment. May not be a compliment. To some people it might be, to some people it may not be. But typically, and especially when it's in front of a group of people, saying that someone is doable is a sexual comment. And in that scene, that comment is clearly unwanted and ultimately sexual in nature. So in that scene, Penny is being sexually harassed. So we talk about Penny's answers throughout that clip. That it goes from, you're a pig, Howard, to, why don't you just go home and die alone? And in that clip, a lot of us feel sorry for Penny. We go, a lot of us feel sorry for Howard, because why would Penny say that? Why would Penny say something so want to go to the dance? And if someone's asking you again and again and again, that answer from no may escalate. out of frustration that they're not being listened to, they're not being respected, there's pressure. And so Penny's response to that, although yes, it is kind of mean, but it's also understandable. So anyway, we talk about that. You can look at that YouTube clip probably after this live stream. But let's talk about consent. Ultimately, when we ask young people especially, what do they think about when they hear the word consent? A lot of their heads go straight to intimate connections with people. Understandable. Really, the first time we talk about consent, and that C word in particular, is in the context of those more intimate connections with people. But really, consent is part of all of our lives in all different aspects. We have consent from our parents, our siblings, our friends. Heck, we even have consent with the whole community in this physical isolation that's going on right now, right? When we go into a grocery store, we're typically respecting people's boundaries. As I call it, the llama length, right? That 6 foot, llama length, because a llama is 6 foot. I thought that was genius marketing, llama length. And so we're respecting that. That is consent. That is going, my body is here, your body is there. So that's all consent. That's about respecting people's boundaries and healthy relationships. So, with consent, and as I said, consent is a part of so many different aspects of our lives, not just intimate connections with our romantic or sexual partners, but also just connections with anyone and everyone in our lives. Whether we're posting a picture of someone online, are we allowed to tag them? Are we allowed to post the picture? Do they even want the picture being posted? What type of social media medium? Are we getting permission from our parents, right? Consent is so much more than just a yes or no. It involves a whole myriad of a lot of different people's opinions and a lot of different people's boundaries, and making sure we're respecting that as leaders. So the T video came up in our Instagram chat, Consent and Tea. That's a really good introductory video. If someone has any sort of learning difficulties or on a cognitive spectrum, those types of videos are not ideal to be using, because the analogies that are being made for people with those type of learning different types of learning strategies, they don't get. They're like, well, I'm not going to pour tea down people's throats, so that doesn't make sense. So you kind of have to with that population of people, you really need to tell them frankly what you're talking about. And we're talking about consent, and consent means this. So there's also a cycling through consent, which I show to typically high school folks. It has more nuances, more sexual innuendos, like a one bike stand, stuff like that. So 2 great resources on there. There's also the consent and fries. So a lot of people will think about that. The consent and fries, it's the fries are okay, but when you have fries, you need to add a little salt, you need to add ketchup, you need to add mayo. So what I'm saying is that the fries are okay, but they need some sprucing up. And sometimes it gets a little confusing the way that the fries is done, informed and specific. To me, gets a little bit confusing. So I have made up my own consent board, and going through some extra nuances of what consent really comes down to, and it's more than fries, but I have some other words. So I'm just going to shift over. Come on. Then, sorry about the audio there. Okay. So I do apologize because the wording is all inverted, but how I talk about consent. I have 6 different key facets to it. The first one is that it's freely given. So you're able to make that decision with your own free will. You don't feel forced. You don't feel coerced. You don't feel like you have to do something. An example is if you're playing ball with your friends. You shouldn't feel like you have to play ball in order to feel included. That ball game should be something that you are able to join or not join without any repercussions. Freely given also has some legal aspects to it as well. So the age of consent. and what age you're able to consent to intimate connections. Is that person in a position of power or authority over you? Is it someone that you rely on? And is that relationship exploitative? So those are some different nuances I'm not necessarily going to get into here, but freely given, we're able to freely decide whether or not we want to play in that ball game, whether or not, I know people are just joining right now and they're like, what ball game? Whether or not they want to join you at dinner, whether or not they want to be part of your group for homework, whether or not they want to engage in intimate connections with you. It's freely given. We're able to make the decisions on our own free will and not feel like we have to. It's probably going to fall, but that's okay. All right, freely given. The next one we have is that it is clear. So clear in the sense that you clearly understand what you're agreeing to. Is it a ball game? And am I going to be overhand lobbing the ball to you? Am I going to be fast pitch ball to you? Am I going to underhand the ball to you? Am I going to be rolling the ball to you? And so we talk about that with our ball game with young people and go, how did you know that your friend wanted the ball thrown that way? What if your friend wanted it rolled to them? How did you know? And the answer is that we don't know. But what could we do? We could ask so that you're clearly understanding what you're agreeing to, but also that it is understood what they're saying yes or no to. So you're clearly understanding the response. The response is clear. The response is not just yes, yeah. There's a lot that just happened there. And if I go, yeah, I said yes, but I am definitely not enthusiastic about that. If someone is going, yeah, no. So, clear. And while we're on the clear, let's just move into enthusiastic, backwards enthusiastic. So this kind of comes off clear, but clear is that you understand. It's more of the understanding part of it, that you understand what you're saying yes to and that you understand the answer. But enthusiastic is, what is the answer? What is the nature of the answer? So if I'm going, yeah, like I said yes, but that doesn't really sound clear. That doesn't really sound like it's engaged. It doesn't sound like someone wants to do this with you. If you're talking to your young child and they said, and you ask them, hey, do you want to make blueberry pancakes with me? And they go, yeah. That's not really a clear and enthusiastic yes. So what can you do? Well, you can check in to be an accountable leader. What would you rather do instead? What would you rather make instead? What is something that we can do together that you're going to be excited about? Or maybe they were just on their phone and not listening to you anyway. So, it's so important that we get clear and enthusiastic yeses or responses, period, whenever you're connecting with someone. Again, whether that's cooking, whether that's playing a ball game, whether that's intimate connections. Gotta be enthusiastic. No, you can't really see it, but it's in the description. The next one that I talk about, which this is the ketchup and mayo and salt, is that it's ongoing. So ongoing, this also answers a lot of questions that people have, like, what if? And, well, what if this? And it's what this ongoing comes down to is that you're always checking in during an activity. So just because someone wanted to play baseball at the beginning of recess doesn't mean they want to play baseball the entirety of recess. Hey, they may be tired. They may be hurt. But you're not going to say, well, you wanted to play baseball at the beginning of recess, so you've got to continue playing. That sounds preposterous. That sounds absurd. That sounds silly. So it's so important that we're checking in. Another question that I get is, well, what if you're drinking? Oh, what a big one there. And when it comes down to the law of things, you need a sober yes. A sober yes is the only yes that you can get. You cannot be under the influence of any sort of substance in terms of consent. And so some people, I get some scoffs, I get some eye rolling, I get some laughter. And so I explained this, and okay, let's just move away from our intimate connection mind frame that we think about and think about driving. Are we going to be driving under the influence? And the answer, hands down, is no. And students and young people go, oh my gosh, no, like, why would you do that? And it's like, okay, like, why would you not drink and drive? One, you could be a harm to other people and yourself. And two, what it comes down to is that you're not able to think critically. You're not able to be rational when you're under the influence of any sort of substance. So just like drinking and driving, you can't consent, and it's not safe. Just like for drinking and intimate connections, it's not safe, and you're not getting a clear and enthusiastic yes. It may be enthusiastic, but but it's definitely not clear. They're definitely not having a rational mind frame to make a decision that's safe for everyone. So ongoing, we're always checking in and making sure that everyone is okay and wants to continue doing the activity that was agreed upon at the beginning. The next one is reversible. Now this is on the fries, and what reversible means is that you're able to revoke, you're able to take back your decision, and that you're able to change your answer. And so that kind of hits on ongoing a little bit, but it's okay to not want to play ball. You're able to change your answer. You're able to say, you know what, I don't feel up to it anymore. And if you're in a space or in a certain environment where you're not able to stop, is that really a consensual space to be in, or to think, or even to like think about that kind of thing? So one question I get from young people is, okay, well, if our teacher says we have to do our homework, am I giving my consent to do the homework? Or if the teacher tells me to go to the office, do I have to go to the office? And what I say to that is, no, you don't have to do your homework. No, you don't have to listen to the teacher. But there's implications for your decision. So if you are choosing to be disruptive in your class, then you're not being a leader. You are not facilitating healthy relationships and boundaries. And that there's certain ways that we can respect people. And if you need to step out, and I've been a part of a lot of classrooms that allow this, if you need to step out, a lot of teachers say, go take a walk. And like that has been so effective to see people who just can't focus to go out and do a lap, and they come back to class and they're like focused. It's fantastic. Anyway, so, and you got to think about what the implications are for your actions, right? If you don't want to do something, that's totally fine. But what are those implications going to be down the road? So, reversible. Reversible is very interesting if you want to look up. Now, this law has been, revoked. I don't know if that's the right law code. But in terms of in North Carolina, engaging in intimate connections with people, once you start that intimate connection, you then have to continue. You can't reverse. Now, that has since been taken back. But in Canada, you are able to reverse your answer at any point and change, because that's who we are as people. We change our answers sometimes. So, reversible. Just something interesting if you want to look that up. And finally, the last one, and this is my favorite, and this is not on the fries, but this is what this whole thing comes down to, is that it's mutually agreed upon. So just because someone asks you to play ball doesn't mean that you just get to say yes and play ball. You still need to ask the person who asked you, like, yeah, you get to play ball? What position do you want to play? Who's going to do what? Everyone has to agree in this situation as to what's going to be happening, what's going to go down in this activity. Mutually agreed upon. So just because someone wants the ball to be rolled to them, you then have to understand for yourself, do I want to be rolling the ball? And if not, then you got to talk about that. You got to respect people's boundaries, even your own. So mutually agreed upon is kind of what this all comes down to, is that everyone agrees to the action that's taking place. And that is what consent comes down to. So that's pretty much it for time. We've got that it's freely given, it's clear, it's enthusiastic, ongoing, reversed, and mutually agreed upon. So thank you everyone so much for joining. Tomorrow we've got Lisa that's going to be on here doing her feminist book club, which is so cool. I can't read books fast enough to keep up with Lisa, but I'm definitely listening. And with the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center, we have lots of different supports for you folks if you're needing those. We also have yoga with Yami, so that's going on multiple weeks. So you don't just have to go to the first week. You can like go on the second week and the fourth week. So send an email to us and we can get you registered and send you that Zoom link. In terms of supports that we have, our phone support is available Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30 at 705-748-5901. We have our 24-hour crisis line at 1-866-298-7778. Our texting line is available Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30 at 705-710-5234. And that's available till 4:30, but there's also 24-hour text lines. Unfortunately, we don't have the capacity to do that as of yet. We are working on it. But I'll share what, I can't remember the agency that has like an evening text line, but that's available. And then our online support. So you can, on your phone, you can go to the kawarthasexualassaultcenter.com, and on your phone, especially if it's a weekend evening, you can message us through our website. So we do have our day one during our office hours, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30. You can go on our website, kawarthasexualassaultcenter.com, and then our weekend web chat is still going strong, so you can access that through your phone as well. Our website, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So a lot of different types of supports. Our emails are still available. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Thursday, I'll be talking about breathing exercises, which is like almost like what I need to do right now. I don't know. But thank you everyone so much for tuning in to talk about consent on this gloomy day. Just know that, just because there's clouds in the sky today doesn't mean that there isn't blue sky and sun behind it. Sometimes we experience cloudy days, but just know that the weather is always changing and that we are here to support you. We are here with the Transvisibility Day today. We're here for you in solidarity and want to stay connected. So today, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow with the Feminist Book Club, and I forget if it's tonight or next week. Anyway, you got yoga with Yami. Be sure to connect with that. It's a Zoom meeting, and I'll definitely be doing that. I can't wait. Thank you everyone so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.